The day started earlier than usual in the Bates house. The soft morning light filtered through the kitchen window as breakfast sizzled on the stove, scrambled eggs, toast, and a hint of nerves in the air. Today wasn't just another ordinary day. It was the beginning of something new, something both exciting and a little scary. For months, they'd been praying, researching, and talking with professionals about their little boy's delayed speech. Sweet, bright, and full of energy, he had so much to say, but the words just didn't come out the way he wanted them to. Some days, he'd try so hard that he'd end up in tears, frustrated that no one could quite understand him. As parents, their hearts ached watching him struggle. So, when the referral came through for speech therapy, it felt like a small miracle, a chance to give their son the tools he needed, the confidence he deserved, and the voice that was waiting to burst out of him. "All right, buddy," Mom said with a bright smile as she knelt down beside him, zipping up his jacket. "Are you ready to meet your new teacher?" He nodded, clutching his favorite stuffed dinosaur, his brave companion for new adventures. Dad loaded up the car, and for the first time in a long while, there was a spark of hope in the air. But this wasn't the only big thing happening that day. Parked outside was something shiny, something new, a sparkling silver SUV, still smelling faintly of fresh leather and excitement. After years of juggling car seats, road trips, and countless breakdowns in their old van, they had finally decided it was time to upgrade. "This is it," Dad said, running his hand proudly along the smooth surface. "Our new family car." The kids squealed as they climbed inside, exploring every button, every compartment, every cup holder like it was treasure. For Mom, it wasn't just a car. It was a symbol of new beginnings, of God's faithfulness, and of how far they'd come. The morning drive to the therapy center was filled with chatter and laughter, the kind that feels warm and real. Their little boy sat in his car seat, watching the world blur by outside his window. He didn't say much, but he smiled, a calm, confident smile that said, "I'm ready." When they arrived, the therapist greeted them with a kind smile and a soft voice. The room was cozy, filled with colorful toys, books, and flashcards. The therapist got down on the floor beside their son, introducing herself gently, making sure he felt safe. At first, he was shy, hiding behind his mom's leg, but soon curiosity got the best of him. A pile of toy cars caught his eye, and he crawled over to inspect them. Within minutes, laughter filled the room. They were off to a good start. Mom sat in the corner, watching with tears in her eyes, as her little boy began to open up, slowly but surely. He pointed at pictures, mimicked sounds, and even managed a few clear words, each one a victory worth celebrating. By the end of the session, the therapist smiled and said, "He's doing great. He's bright, eager, and so full of potential. With a little patience and practice, you'll be amazed at how quickly he progresses." Those words meant everything. On the ride home, the car was quieter, but in a peaceful way. Their little boy hummed softly to himself, his dinosaur tucked securely in his lap. The parents exchanged a look, one that said, "We're going to be okay." They decided to celebrate with ice cream, because every milestone, big or small, deserves a little sweetness. At the table, sticky smiles and chocolate drips turned into laughter. The conversation flowed easily, and even their little boy tried joining in, repeating a few simple words with pride. It wasn't perfect, but it was progress, and progress was enough. Later that evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the house quieted down, Mom reflected on the day. She thought about all the nights she had prayed for guidance, all the moments she had worried about the future, and how today felt like a glimpse of answered prayers. Sometimes life doesn't change in big, dramatic ways. Sometimes it's in the small steps. The first words spoken clearly, the joy of a safe car ride, the comfort of knowing you're doing the best you can. And as she peeked in her son's room before bed, she saw him fast asleep with his little dinosaur tucked beside him. She whispered softly, "We're so proud of you." In the driveway, the new car glimmered under the porch light, waiting for tomorrow's adventures. It wasn't just a vehicle. It was a reminder that every family journey has bumps, detours, and beautiful destinations along the way.